So Russia's advance here on the Kievan front is challenging in so many new ways. For example, in the east and in the south, there's a good share of locals who sympathize Russia. Here, on the other hand, that number is significantly lower. So this humanitarian effort is not only meant to help people who are left to survive in dire conditions, but also to probably change their hearts and minds. Wells have run dry in this village. Shops ran out of food within hours of fighting breaking out, and a disrupted power too. The front line has moved away from these homes towards Kiev, but still afraid, local residents prefer to shelter in their basements during the long, cold nights.
There we sit to hide. Here's the basement. It is damp and wet. No, don't go in, it stinks now, because we have heated it a little. The closer we get to Kiev, the more desolated the streets become. I mean, this village, just under 35 kilometers away from the Ukrainian capital, has been almost completely abandoned by the locals. And I mean, there's nothing left here, no food. Like, for example, this fencing was meant to protect the windows of this little tiny shop, but, well, it has clearly failed. There's shattered glass all over the street. This window has been completely broken down. This is how the marauders got in. And you can see the place is utterly and completely ransacked. There's nothing there. Some villagers sharing pro-Russian views are concerned that the aid, in part, may end up in the hands of the guerrilla squads who continue to prowl the nearby forests. But to take this aid away would mean sentencing civilians to a certain death. Most people here have their own tiny swathes of farmland and stockpiles of canned goods. This is how they've continued to put food on their tables so far. What they don't have is access to medicine.
About what's needed. Look, people bring prescriptions. There's an urgent need for insulin, hard drugs. These are the most important things. We share food. People have absolutely no flour. We'll distribute some flour, which was brought earlier, as people have had no bread for a few weeks.
Our child was ill, and we asked for help. We were told that there is a doctor, a military woman, who can tell whether we are doing everything right or not. No one offends us. No one is rude to us. We can walk about calmly.
Mingling with the locals here is a surprising face. A former MP elected before the 2014 revolution. He had been living in exile, persecuted for his pro-Russian views, but now he's back home.
We've been here from the first day of the war, from the very start. We provide locals with humanitarian aid, work with them. The Ukrainian army destroyed infrastructure after leaving. People have no electricity and therefore no water. It needs repair. Most of the places where Russian troops remain are safe now. So lay down your weapons, come back home. If you haven't committed war crimes, you won't be punished at all. Come back home, help your people. It's time to come back to work. We need to rebuild our country. No one will do it aside from us. When we tell them the truth about the events of 2014, people will change their view. They are helping soldiers, providing them with food, baths, or some small things. If you came to rescue us, do not leave us again. If you came, do not leave us.